Hey there, everyone.
What's up, everybody?
Good afternoon.
Oh my goodness,
So, you
it's
all
so
know the tradition. Before we get started, you're going to have to go ahead and like and start this stream. Now, we gave y'all some time because we not starting right at 1 o'clock. So, you should have been sitting here waiting. You knew we was coming. You know things be happening and we have things to do. We have our board here today on a pop-up we weren't prepared for. Glad to see them in the house, but maybe they'll see, something that we're doing, right? Right, Ryan?
definitely we do like visitors, and but we also like visitors that come with a purpose and come with some help, some solutions
That's
to
right.
some of the things that take go on here in the world of KYHRC. I definitely things happen, but hey, we made it. We the pivot kings and queens. So
That's
uh,
it.
we made it here, and we glad that you made it here. And so we definitely invite you to like and share, tag somebody in this convo. Share this on your page, and invite somebody to come and join in our convo today. We definitely got a great topic today. But before we get into that, we
Let's
do.
introduce ourselves. We
Yes,
done
I'm
ran right in
Ryan.
through,
We
right?
did.
Ryan, tell the people who you are. So we might got new people on here.
Listen, so I'm Ryan. I am one of your hosts here at By Any Means. And listen, I'm the project manager here for Kentucky Harm Reduction, and I do love what I do. And listen, it's definitely great work to get into. And
Yeah.
we love volunteers, so come and volunteer if you want to get into this work.
Yes, and I'm Sharita Walden. I am the executive director here and co-host of By Any Means. Ryan is more of the producer and host of this, so I'm really excited that you guys are here. You're on here with us. Look forward to the conversation. Yes, I'm looking down because I am trying to share the YouTube. So,
Yeah,
y'all, we have a YouTube station. We want to try to get those numbers up too, right? So
definitely.
we are making sure that all of our platforms are shared, right? About where we're at, where we're located. We have a Spotify. I'll have to check in on how to share that one with you all. But
Yeah, I'm
right
not sure
now
about that.
we have this. So, did you get a chance to share on your streams yet,
Doing it
Ryan?
right, doing it right now, right now, so that way my people can get in here too. And
Right.
we don't have any announcements this week. Next week we will
Okay.
have some. We do have some great guests that we're planning for next week. So make sure that you tune in into the conversation next week. And we're definitely gonna have some great guests on with us. And then also, if you have any type of ideas, if you have anything that you would like to have a convo about on here on By Any Means, make sure that you tap in. Maybe you can send it to my email address, RyanJ at KYHRC. And we would love to hear from you. We want to make sure that we are in tune with our community, and we don't want to just be on here just talking about any and everything. But we want to make sure that we are keeping in contact with our audience, and making sure that we're doing something that is feasible and that is worth doing, because the work that we do, it is important.
This is harm reduction. By any means is harm reduction. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Ryan shared that we have a new topic. It's a new month. So if you've been following us for a while, you know we start off the month with the theme. It's me and Ryan. We chatted up for a little while, and then we have some special guests for our next episode, right? Which is our
Hmm.
second or our last episode for the month. So what is our theme for this month, Ryan?
So this month, our theme is talking about who holds the helpers,
Mm,
who hold the helpers, who intercedes for the helpers, who help them when it gets when this work gets tiring, when it gets exhausting, because it does. But who holds them up? Who cares for them? And so this episode explores the hidden emotional weight carried by the people everyone depends on.
mm,
And it examines the compassion, fatigue, the boundaries, the servant leadership, the burnout, the reciprocal care, and then also the courage to receive the support. And one of the key thoughts that we have for this month is that strong people need safe places too. Strong
mm.
people
Okay.
like you
Yes.
need a safe place to be able to let their hair down. That's why I wore my hair down today. I had it up in a ponytail, but strong people need to let their hair down too, and they need that safe space.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we think about what we're talking about today, being a licensed clinician myself, right? And being a helper and slowly creeping into that 20-year mark of the work that I've been doing in community. That's a long
Yeah,
time.
yes,
Um,
that's good.
one of the questions that come up is I think about who checks on these people, right?
Mhm.
You know, when Ryan asked that question and he shared what we would be talking about, I sat and I reflected uh, over the years on how that shifted for me, right? In the beginning, I honestly, as a clinician, and I don't know how many clinicians are on here right now or who will watch this later, but
Mhm.
I didn't really see it that way. Um, I had a therapist while I was actively being a clinician, so maybe that was why. But
Mhm.
where I saw where I saw it actually showing up was once I started moving into roles where I became a leader.
Okay.
When I became a leader, I was like, whoa, whoa. A lot of people kind of backed up because then it was like, oh, well, you don't need help. I didn't say I didn't need help,
Right. Then far from it.
right?
Far
But
from it.
once I became one, it was almost like, well, you don't no longer. I think people started making the choice, right?
Right.
Um, we have like emergency contacts. We have people down that you know who do we call? Who's gonna call if I go to the hospital like I was with my daughter last night till 2 in the morning,
Oh
right?
wow.
Yeah, she's doing well, but who do we call, right? The hospital has that, but what about the people, the helpers?
Hmm. Yeah.
Who's on the emergency contact?
Mm.
Who's on your emergency contact, Ryan? You're not only just, a leader in the organization that you work in, but you're a
Hmm.
leader outside of the organization in the faith-based communities. You're an
Yeah.
elder. And share with people what an elder is. Like when you say elder, so people can understand what that role means.
So the role of an elder is to help bring along the wisdom in the faith based in the faith based scene where being able to not only just preaching and teaching, that's great, but also being able to uphold the pastor, uphold the bishop, uphold the higher up rankings in ministry. But there has to be people that do the footwork, that does
Mhm.
the go in and do the dirty work, if you will. And so, with that, I definitely I am able to go out into the community, able to go out and do things, but also be able to bring that back and also help to help the higher rankers in ministry understand what the footwork looks like and how do we approach that.
Right.
And
Right.
so I utilized my grandfather, actually, who is my leader. I utilize him to be able to gain some wisdom, gain some insight on how to be able to address certain issues, and and even being able to address those that are my fellow colleagues in ministry as well too.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Because some
Yeah.
people, they only know us in one role, right?
Mhm.
Um, and likewise for me, uh, I'm a parent, right? A leader
Mhm.
in my household. As I shared, my daughter was ill the other night, and I had to show up and be a leader with this hospital because they wanted to play games. So my hat as a parent, when it's time for me to also go into advocate, now I got on two, three, four hats
Mhm.
because it's hard at times to separate which person I'm going to be in community. So some people be like, just chill, just relax. I know there's one of the statements on our agenda is about how people say, how, I don't even know how you do it, or things like
Right.
that. And I'm like, well, I mean, part of it is something that I've learned through life. But when I say becoming an advocate while you're also being a parent, how draining and exhausting it is, I'm still trying to pull it together right now. You
Definitely.
know, I I was there, and we didn't get home till after 3 actually in the
Wow.
morning. And while I'm watching my child not be able to breathe or have complications, and then to turn around and see that the hospital wasn't operating properly while I was trying to gather myself at home, I had to
Mhm.
leave and go be not just a parent, but an advocate.
Definitely.
And then I had to show my other leadership skills, right? Being a leader in the community.
Right.
And things got to rolling. I ain't never seen no emergency room move that quickly. And guess what? At Norton's downtown, there's another side to the emergency room, y'all, that they opened up. They said they were gonna try to close it last night, but I kept pushing. It's not easy. Sometimes when you ask a person or tell a person, I don't know how you do it, I wonder if that's the right language at times. Or
Mhm.
should the question actually be, what can I do to support you?
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
and let me just say this real quick. It's kind of hard to look at a title like this, Who Holds the Helpers, when you're one that's licensed to be one, and then you're one that actually shows up in your own household. That is going to be, this conversation is going to be a little wonky for me because I'm living it in the moment. Because who is holding me up?
And a lot of times, as being someone, I'm the eldest child of five boys and two girls. So, I do understand. I've been in this role for a while, whether I wanted to or not. But being the eldest child, and having to hold up my siblings, even in during during the decline of health of my mother, having to one hold myself up, but then also hold up my siblings, hold up my nieces and nephews during that time that was very difficult. And
Mm.
so understanding your role is one of the main things that allows us to be able to withstand, because there's a lot of things that can happen. It's a lot of things that happens. And so many of us become the emergency contact for our families. We become the therapist friend, we become the church leader, we become the caregiver, the peer supporter, the doula, the community organizer. the parent, the mentor, the one everyone believes is quote unquote, and I'm gonna use my air quotes, strong. But strength doesn't eliminate the humanity part of that strength that we carry. And so today's conversation is making room for the people who spend their lives making room for everyone else. And I find I'm guilty of it. I make room for people, even in times that I'm dog tired. You know, I get up every morning at 7:30 a.m. And no matter what I did or what took place on the day before, I'm up at 7:30 a.m. and I'm praying, and I have a podcast or broadcast, whatever you want to call it. But the ministry work that I do every single morning, and so and when I don't do that, I feel bad. I do. I feel bad. My day doesn't seem like it's the best, because I didn't have that time interceding for other people. But once the broadcast ends, that's what I'm still tired. I'm still hurting. I'm still dealing with the humanity part of me. And so we've heard people say, "I don't know how to do it. You always have it together. You're so strong. Come on the other side of the door with me. How about that?" Inviting, I've had to invite people sometimes to come in and see my life, and see my daily routines, and even how I operate at work too. I recently had to share with my supervisors and director. Listen, there's some things that is going on, and it is spilling over. But I just need a little bit of help. Can you help? Being able to stop and ask, and really they prompted because they stopped and asked me, "Are you okay? What's going on?" We just want to listen, and that was very appreciative
Yeah.
of them to be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing those experiences. I want to also allow us to sit in the discomfort of that, because the reality of it is that when you're a helper, people do depend on you. Um, and I like this quote that was shared to me, that sometimes being dependable can become a prison. I like
Hmm.
that. I actually did a poem about being held hostage, right?
Hmm.
And there's something to really say about that before we go into what the negative consequences could be by being the dependable one, the one that everyone goes to. How does all of these things affect your relationship, Ryan? Like relationships that you have?
Um, it definitely can become a strain because um, trying to operate sometimes, and as much of a helper that I am, and I'm a helper in a lot of capacities, but being able to being a resource can be tiring, and so having to have to set boundaries sometimes can be a little difficult for me. But then I can only imagine what that feels like for someone else, the persons that rely or depend on me. It can become a little difficult and a little strained if I happen to have to say one of these times, "Oh, can you just give me a few moments, or can you just wait?" And then it makes it feel like, "Whoa, wait a minute, you're not available. You can't be dependable." And so being able to make boundaries, I had to implement those because if not, you're gonna stretch yourself. But not only stretch yourself, the impact of stretching yourself also can fall on the persons that may rely on you or depend on you.
Right. So one of the benefits that I have, or the privilege that I have, is that this is probably one of the spaces where I do a lot of work, which is working on boundaries and working on proactive ways to deal with burnout. So there's some privilege with me sitting in this space because the same time that I can talk about it, at the same time, I'm very well aware of what it looks like on me, right?
Mhm.
And I get that a lot of people. So I'm gonna sit with you and how you shared that, and what I'm gonna share with people who are watching this is that this is a critical thing to think about. So there are different boards that I'm on, and a lot of times I'm on committees where I get to deal with issues, right? And not to disclose those things publicly, but just to say that's just what I do in my work. Um, I realize that a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. The question I ask is, how does it impact relationships? Well, when we get to a point where we are becoming the main dependent for someone, we often don't discuss what that dependency is called. And it's actually a word for it, and it's called codependency.
Mhm.
A lot of times, especially when we're talking about substance use and we're talking about what we see, which is why we don't dig into just someone's substance use. That's just a symptom of whatever else is going on in a person's life. But
Mhm.
what I have found is that a lot of people have not addressed and owned their own issues with being codependent. Now, codependent can sound very intimidating,
Yeah.
and being someone who hears, oh, that's enabling, that could sound targeting. But I'm gonna say this to you directly: you talking to someone who dealt with codependency and still does. It's not about personality, it's about awareness. And what do
Yeah.
I mean by that? I mean that, yeah, there are quite a few people in my life right now that have experienced what boundaries look like, and it did not feel good.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And this show right here, y'all, is not just a show. It's the real.
Yeah.
Before boundaries were in my life, a daily part of my life, people could depend on me for absolutely everything that happens.
Yeah.
And that is not healthy, no
Yeah.
matter how you look at it. I don't care what role a person is in. Sacrificing your own self, your own sanity, your own mental health, your own physical health, just for someone else in the name of health is actually the opposite, is actually harmful.
I just happened to listening to what you were saying, and I happened to look over and see a rubber band. The rubber band is meant to hold things together. It's
Hmm.
meant to hold some things together.
Hmm.
Now, if you're trying to stuff things and this rubber band, it's elastic. So it's meant to be stretched out, but come back together. Come back to its original state,
Hmm.
even after being stretched. But if you stretch this too
Enough.
far, it's gonna pop. And
Yep.
so, if you don't have anything that can refuel you, and imagine this rubber band being your life, and I've actually have experienced this, and that I'm trying to be a helper to so many, as so many persons, and guess what? I'm not even in there, in the inside of the rubber band that's being held together,
Hmm.
that is meant to hold everything else together for everybody else. This is just everybody else's stuff that's being stretched out,
So
stretched
hold
out.
on to that analogy though, and let's unpack that, right? Because there are people on here today who are trying to understand that. So if we
Yeah.
dive deeper into the analogy of the rubber band, and we're saying to you, it's unhealthy. I don't like going into spaces where I hear all the things, but I don't hear the why. So let's talk about
Yeah.
how we get there, right? So
Hmm.
you got the rubber band. The first question I ask people before they walk out the door and they say, okay, I'm going to help, is did you already reflect on where you are in your life, right? So let's do something simple. It's a simple exercise. All right. Ryan, ask me for something. Just anything off the top of your head. Ask me for something that's going to help you.
And can you help me with this assignment, please?
Okay. So Ryan asking me, can I help him with this assignment? So naturally, people, especially if it's something that I know, something that I'm excited, which I'm really excited always to do a PowerPoint. Everybody know, even in school, I have to pause and be like, I'll do the PowerPoint later because I love those, right? So
Right.
if I want to do it, normally people are like, absolutely, sure, I can help. No, I always say the pause is so amazing.
Yeah.
People who get to know me, they will start, you'll notice you'll start saying it yourself, like pause. Because that's something that helps me. When I say pause out loud, I'm not just telling the person that I'm talking to to pause. I'm actually doing this. I'm telling me to pause. Because
Yeah.
in that pause, I get to reflect and think. Now, the first thing I do is I say, okay, what do I have to do? What is
Hmm.
on my own plate right now? Ryan asked me, can I help with an assignment? So someone else may be going, nothing like a good PowerPoint. Yeah. Somebody else may be going, I don't have enough information.
Hmm.
So, Sharita, you should ask a question. Cool, because I see I got all these things on my plate, but you know what? I actually got some space over here. So the question come back, hey, Ryan, this assignment, what all do you need from me? That's the second thing people don't do.
Mm.
How many times, Ryan, have you jumped in? Let's admit, let's do some admittance for our people. How many times have you jumped in? I'm raising my hand already and said, I can do it, and didn't even know what the hell we was got in there and was like,
Yeah.
oh damn.
Yeah. Jump too far. Jump the gun. What they say? Jump the gun too far. Too soon.
No, Ryan did it with us. He said, sure, I can help with that project. Then we said, great, here. And we threw a whole buffet. He said, I can help with that project.
Okay.
But think about it. That's us. That's our behavior.
Yeah.
So I would ask, okay, so we're gonna play it out. Ryan, so what is the project? Bring it up. What is the project? What do you need from me?
So I have this project that I have to create a whole thesis for. I need to create a PowerPoint with it. I need to have two helpers that to assist me in this. And then also the main part is that I only have 3 days to do it.
Pause. Now some of y'all probably sitting there like, oh hell no, I ain't helping with none of that. Right? Y'all got boundaries. Y'all like, no, cause see, we ain't even got a week. Again, right? Now Brian, he shared things that I love to do.
Yeah.
He also shared things that I have the capacity to do much quicker.
Hmm.
If anyone's in the comment watching right now, what would be your next move?
Mm.
What what would you do with this information? Now I'm gonna explain. I got a plate, and I have a week where I have let me think, a report due. It's a very small report, but it's something that's manageable and can be knocked out. I also have a couple of check-ins with supervision that I need to do, and then I just need to do some wrap-up services and emails with other people, other leaders. And this is real. This is something real that I would have on my plate as a day-to-day activity,
Hmm.
right? What would you recommend be the next step? And we want to encourage you to get active in there, right? Maxwell, we know you sitting in there, so don't be acting like you're not sitting in the comments. Jose, other folks, I think I saw some other folks that were in there. Share, what is it that you think should be the next move with Ryan's 3-day request? And think about yourself, how you
Hmm.
would respond. And Ryan, you can answer too. What would you think Maxwell has? What does he say?
Maxwell says, weigh it against my schedule, turn my plate into a platter to add some more room on the
Ooh,
sides, take a deep breath and outline my responsibilities to get it.
okay, I
Erica,
love it. Strategy.
Erica says, what is the project about? And
Ooh,
is it even about a topic that I'm familiar with and can help with? That's
I
good.
love this. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Maxwell. Y'all, so we got someone who's like, hey, I'm ready to jump in because I got the capacity to maneuver based on the
Hmm.
things that I already know I have to do. And just a side note, Maxwell actually strategizes like that. So what he just demonstrated is, okay, personally, I'm going to strategize. Then
Mm-hmm.
Erica said, wait a minute, I need a little bit more information, research. What is this about? Now, I'm going to say this because my brand is anxiety, right? Because I live it. And I don't want to give anyone more because the first thing I heard was the last thing he said. 3 days. That means that he is anxious and he is not in the mood for one of those sit and wait and think, right?
Yeah.
Right? Thank you. Yes, Erica. We love it here too.
Thank you.
I think for me, in this type of situation as a oh wait, Brittany, go ahead. What did she say? Because I'm here for it.
She said, see if I can help or have the capacity to help. What have you done so far? Okay. And how much help do you need? That's good.
So that's where I was going, Brittany. Like for
Yeah.
me, and because the way my brain hears, but what I love about all three comments is that we're talking strategy now. This
Yeah.
is helping, y'all. This
Yeah.
is the helper being protective of who they are and still saying, I'm going to help. Now, Ryan, we're going to take Brittany, a little Brittany, and a little Erica's response.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to respond as someone who doesn't really have time for no, right?
Okay.
So someone who don't really have time for no. All right. So Ryan, this sounds like a great opportunity. You know how much I love PowerPoint. So first thing is, I don't even know if the topic is something that I'm with. I don't know what you're going to be discussing, but I could talk with you about what you've done so far. You know, maybe help you with as much as I can to try to meet your need. I can help you develop the template for the PowerPoint, but I can't commit to, you know, that short pace time of everything. So, is there anything specific?
I mean, it is. I mean, if you could at least help with with the at least a couple of the slides. I really can't afford to take a no right now
Okay.
because it is crunch time. I want to make sure that I can get this done. It's a lot of pressure on for this, but I really need some. I really need some help. Whatever you can do, then yes, can you do that, please?
This is one of those perfect scenarios.
Hmm.
Now, imagine it being a person who don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
Who don't have the capacity, meaning they cannot do anything else and they can't be stretched. And imagine the other person not being happy with it. So we're going to do this part of it. And I'm going to say, no, at this time I can't. And I need you not to be happy about it. So go all in. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, hey, Ryan, you know what? Thank you for sharing a little bit more about what it is. I'm going to be honest right now. I don't have the capacity to take on anything additional. I'm sorry. I apologize. Uh, but right now, I need the space to do the work that I need to. Maybe I can support in the future.
Uh, Man, I don't even know what I'm about to do, man. This is crucial. This critical time, man. And I mean, I really don't even understand what my next steps to do. Like, and then now I'm spending more time trying to find help, and instead of being able to try to work on something, but. Yeah, this isn't. I mean, I really thought that you was gonna really be able to help me. I mean, it's
So,
nothing that you can do.
yeah, so this is a good response. Now, Ryan, I want you to give me a response where you completely shut down and you're angry with me and you don't want to talk to me anymore. So I want to hear a response that far.
Man, this is crazy. Like, just don't even worry about it. Just forget it. Forget I even asked. And in fact, I know I can't even ask for anything. I can't even ask for no help at all. And so don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about me coming back and asking for no help. If you can't help now, then when are you going to be able to help?
Woo! Now, for all of those that's sitting there, how many of you have experienced responses like that?
Definitely.
That shit hurt, don't it? When I was
Yeah.
listening to Ryan, I was like, you took me back to some moments, baby. But people have responded like, you know what, never mind, whatever. Don't, I'm not gonna say nothing else to you. Yeah, they'll say, great job, good job, yes.
In fact, Deb is one of our old supervisors back home. So, Debbie, it's not about you, okay?
But think about that. So
Yeah.
guess where I'm getting at? You are probably following me. A lot of times we jump in to avoid that last scenario. You know what? I don't want to lose my friendship. I don't want to lose the trust. I don't want to lose. And I get it. And I'm gonna tell you something. Those responses I've got, they some of my closest people in my life right now
Yeah.
because I stood my healthy boundary ground.
And what comes up for me really
Yes,
also
share,
too,
Ryan. You played
is that when a lot of times we categorize helping when it actually was is rescuing,
it.
and
Woo!
so helping and the difference between helping and rescuing is that helping empowers that person, but rescuing creates that codependency that we're
Woo!
talking about. And so sometimes, and I'm gonna talk about myself. I'm not talking about nobody here, but I'm gonna talk about Ryan. Sometimes my compassion quietly and sometimes it be when I get overloaded, it loudly becomes
Mm,
control.
mm, mm. Tell the truth. Shame the devil.
Blame the devil. And then when I'm now that I've become controlled by my compassion, now I'm sitting at home and I'm got my dreads and they're all sticking up. I got a headache now. I'm frustrated now. I can't even
Mhm.
sleep. I mean literally, and when it becomes and as much as I love to help, really, I have been practicing the complete sentence no
Mm. And it is
and
one.
being okay with me standing in my no.
That is beautifully said, Ryan. Thank you for sharing that. You know what? No, no is love.
Yeah.
No is love. You know, I'm a middle child through and through.
Okay.
If my mom is watching this, she would probably be jumping up and down like, praise God, she says it out loud with pride. What came with that a lot of times is I I was always able to fit in between a lot. I'm always able to kind of show up and be as nimble as I need to be.
Yes, you have, Dad.
Right. What I know because y'all are in here like I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Y'all are talking. Uh, but
Oh, that's a good
no
one.
shows love. Rescuing is actually not about the other person. It's about you. It's about us. It's about filling a need inside of us.
Yeah.
It's about me, 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 me. That's and until we get to that point where we can take a look at ourselves and see why we are making something happen. And I think this is where we need to have another conversation openly because I
Yeah.
don't think people know when they've crossed the line into rescuing, right? Um, and I want you to think about this question, right? Got to recognize manipulation as well. From yeah, and it can all be relative, right? How do you know that you've crossed that line? These are things I want you to consider and think about and share in the chat. And why is saying no so difficult for you if it is? And have you ever enabled someone because you love them? You know, I'll share a story, and it's not breaking any confidentiality. It is from my many, many years of practice from all the way from, the Midwest down here. But I'll never forget working with families in substance use disorder treatment and having a parent actually share that they drove to cop for their kid because they wanted them to be safe. And I was like, wow, no judgment, right? No judgment. What I heard was this parent was
Yeah.
like, I don't want nothing to happen. And I remember my first response was like, baby, your surviving kid know
Hmm.
more than you do. I need you not to do that no more. They
Yeah.
actually know how to survive out there in the world that you don't know about.
Hmm.
Enabling can actually cause harm that's irreversible, like death.
Yeah.
Enabling, and a lot of people get confused because people think that the work that we do here at KYHRC is enabling. They like, but y'all live big as enablers. I'm like, really? Are we? How do you know that?
Mm.
How have we made people dependent on us? How have we crossed the line?
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Our outreach services operate at very clear lines at very clear times. And if you don't get there at a specific time, you don't receive services.
Mm.
Our specialists are not providing a substance to people.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
In fact, if someone have a headache, we actually offer them water and electrolyte more than doctors who offer a Tylenol or ibuprofen.
But
So this discussion point is for you to think about and consider, where have I crossed the line? Where
hmm
do I see myself currently? Do I have a situation in my life I'm trying to navigate right now
hmm
where I'm showing up more than the other person?
mm. I while you're reading that,
Ooh.
that's a great yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Brittany. When I say thank you for sharing that, that was my that was actually my clinical work on myself.
So remember the counselor I was telling you about?
Uh huh.
That's
That's
her.
that one.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
would
Uh,
have you all here. That one right there is
yeah.
what I worked through. When I say the transformational healing I've been walking through over the past 5 years, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not needed,
Mm.
then am I valuable enough? That is heavy. And as helpers, for us to get in a space where we can admit that and own that, that's when the healing starts, y'all. So what you're
Yeah.
doing right now, I know we got like 10 minutes. When you really start working on yourself, before you can actually practice healthy boundaries, guess what? You got to address your codependency. You got
Yeah.
to address the unhealthy thoughts you have for yourself, how you look at yourself.
Mm. And even the and I call it the mirror, and I have to often carry look in the mirror sometimes. First of all, I love looking in the mirror. Let's start there. But sometimes when I look in the mirror, though, I'm not always happy with what I see.
Hmm.
And so if I can see that in myself, then what are other people seeing on their end?
Mm. And you know what? I don't know how many of you all have done the Jahari window, but when you could do that, and I may do that as a training for our organization, but it was a
Mhm.
beautiful thing to realize that the image that people see of me on the outside is nowhere near what I see of myself. And that's a beautiful thing to be able to disconnect from. So if
Yeah.
that's something that you actually struggle with, I'm here to tell you that the Johari window actually was one of the biggest tools I learned in my career that
Hmm.
set me free from that. That's why I could walk around and be exactly who I am, because
Right.
people have created and will always create the narrative who I am through their eyes, through their lived experience. And I'm okay with that.
Definitely.
So I'm so glad you shared that. Look it up. I always tell people, look up, and you can do the research yourself. Johari window is such an excellent exercise. Also, another thing people do is shadow work. Now, I always tell people, but pause before you do shadow work. Make sure that you're walking alongside a therapist, because the things that you start to see, we talking about mirror stuff, just real reflection. But when you start looking in your shadows, that means that you see that behind me? That the thing that follows, an example of my shadow, right? Is when I started looking at how words trigger internally and where it came
Uh-huh.
from for me. So that kind of deep work, and I get it. These social media trends are something awful at times, and I think
Definitely.
people jump into things because they trend. And shadow work is a very trendy term, and I
Mm,
always caution people and say before you start doing shadow work, if you're not being honest with yourself with just a mirror, you ain't
yeah,
ready to look beyond that. Okay.
definitely. And I like what Debbie just said. That's a great place to start with, to get with your peers and ask them. And
Absolutely.
really, a lot of people would actually decline to even participate in that because of what they might see.
And that's true. So it
Hmm.
is a great. I agree, Deb. I think again, that's a you got to be in that space where you're ready to hear. What
Yeah.
does it look like when if you're not a person? I always tell people, I got a friend, Lola. She ain't on here this time. Do
Okay.
with K because she got
Uh-huh.
me last time. But anytime I bring something to her, I love her response. She listens. I always tell her you should have been a therapist too. She listens quietly. Then we pause and she goes, would you like to hear what I think or would you like to hear my thoughts on it? And I love that because what she's doing is giving me the option. Because sometimes I don't want to hear it because I don't want to see it. I'm not ready to receive it. And I don't
Yeah.
want to break. That's healthy boundaries where I don't want to end this relationship. So again, I will put a pause in it. If you're not in a space where you can look in the mirror, it got to start in the mirror, y'all. You know why? Because enabling is real and codependency is real. If I can't look in the mirror at myself, and there has been a time in my life because I'm a theater kid. I'm a trained thespian. I love how people would see me on stages.
Yeah.
But how did I see myself? I didn't even know how to see myself. So if
Mm.
you could look in the mirror and you can't see yourself, that means that you're going to value what other people think about you before you value what you think of yourself. It is
Mm.
not the best way to go. So, yes, what Deb said is absolutely true. And if you're in a space where you're a clinician and you're a leader, this is work that you absolutely must do if you plan to continue to survive and thrive in this work, or you will burn out.
Definitely. Definitely. And even I wish we had some more time, and we might. What we could do is with our guests next week, we can hit these other two
Please.
points because this has gotten in a lot deeper than.
And I want to say this, Ryan. I would
Mhm.
love if Brittany would like to come on and, you know, it's something to bring professionals on and people who do this work who are still working in the middle of work. Like I said, there's some privilege right here with me. There's
Yeah.
somebody who's been in and out of therapy, who has sat with diagnosis, who's navigated some things. I would love for folks, if there's another clinician who is grappling with some of this, who's found it difficult to talk about it, try us. I don't tell people to trust me. Don't trust me. Don't do that. If you don't know me, don't trust me. But try us. This space allows you to be open, authentic, and in a judge free space. Now, I do want to put a clause here. We do live stream. That's how you see us. So
Yeah.
if that's going to be a space where it's going to be difficult for you to show up, there's no judgment with that either. At the
Mm-mm.
same time, we'll walk right alongside you. We're just as transparent and authentic. You throw a question at us, so you can come with your questions. In fact, you don't even have to send us what you're going to ask us
Yeah.
because we're going to show you boundaries. If we don't want to answer it, we're going to say, I decline.
Okay.
All right? But we're not going to press you. That's the whole point. We will put you on here and talk about things,
Yeah.
but we're not going to put you in a space where we're going to create harm.
Right.
I
Okay.
like that idea, Ryan. Let's do that, baby, because you got some good stuff right here.
Yeah.
I think more is gonna come up.
Yeah, it is, and even as we close out today's segment, I really want us to just reflect about how maybe strength isn't carrying everything.
Mm,
Maybe strength is knowing when to put something down,
mm-hmm,
when to use that pause,
mm-hmm,
when to say, "Whoa, wait a minute, this is crossing my lines."
mm-hmm.
I can point you in another direction, but this is crossing the lines where I can, as far as I can go.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to be in that healthy spot that does not create harm on either side.
Absolutely.
Because literally we, as much as we want to help, if we don't help on us first, then we won't be able to help at all.
Mm-hmm. You know, we have a challenge here that I want to throw out. Um, this week, Brian has listed many opportunities, but what we want you to do is reach out and check on someone who never asked for help.
Yeah.
You know, call the caregiver, right? Brian, the pastor. Um,
Call me, please.
yes, right? The community organizer, um, a family member. You know, my mom admitted, so timely that you sent this, and my mom admitted to not wanting to ask me for help while I was in Chicago on the way back home here to Louisville. And she needed, absolutely needed help. And what she kept saying is, you know, I've always depended on myself. Call someone
Yeah.
who's always depended on themselves.
Yeah.
And follow back up with us on that in 2 weeks. Tell us how it went.
Yes.
You're going to
Listen.
take us out of here, Ryan.
Listen, this week, as you are being challenged, ask yourself who has been your safe place,
Mhm.
and if you don't have anybody or that is your safe place, um, I would challenge you to find someone. But if you do have someone already, have you thanked them lately?
Mm.
Have you reached out to them lately? Not asking for anything, not looking for anything, but just asking them, are they okay? Have you told them thank you?
Mhm.
Next week, well, week after next, on August the 20th, we'll continue exploring the realities of community care. By sitting down, we're going to talk with Brittany, as well as we have one more counselor that we're going to bring on, and I believe that this is going to actually stretch out some more where we're going with this. We love you too, Deb. I love you. Listen, Deb was one of my
Yes,
favorite
thank you
supervisors.
for joining us today, you guys.
Yes, yes, yes. And so, listen, talking together, we'll talk about burnout, sustainability, and boundaries, and what it truly takes to keep showing up without losing yourself. And so, you don't want to miss this. We love you here at By Any Means podcast. Listen, you don't want to miss us next on our next episode, August 20th. Listen, as we close out, I am your boy Ryan Jones, and
See y'all. Oh, I'm Sharita Walden. Bye.
listen, we truly thank you. We love you and see you next time.
See y'all.